Fellow Sierra Leoneans, it's my singular honor to announce to citizens that the reign of President Sam Mogbe, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, has been outlived. And I, Major General Sylvia Gulama, has assumed office as the Supreme Head of State and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. I loved the character. I loved it. This is my second role played as an army lady, but this is by far the biggest and most challenging role I've had to take up.
It was really an amazing experience shooting this character. I found a lot of similarities between Bintu and myself, being that Bintu is a journalist and I'm a practicing journalist as well. So it was really easy to see myself in the role and to fit into the role and to really embody the character in its wholeness.
Casey again, was a picture freak, loved taking selfies and all, and I was just a normal student.
When you look at the character of Ibrahim in the movie, it's kind of similar to that of the character of me sitting here, Robert Charles Davis.
Esther is a fearless and smart student who is ready to go for anything that her mind is set to.
I played the role as Martha in this movie. Martha is a broadcaster, a journalist who brings the news to the people. So that's the role I played in the movie.
In the movie, I was a twin. So rolling as a twin is a lot. It's a lot of lifting there with your script, a rolling double. It's challenging. It's the first time I've rolled as a twin in a movie. And I've discovered how much of an inconvenience it is. But I enjoyed playing the character. I enjoyed the challenge. As an actress, I always like roles that challenge me, and I always like playing new roles that I've never played before because I'm gaining new experience and I'm learning something new as well as I go along. Major General Sylvia Gulama will remain in power indefinitely. The story of how April 27 came together is quite interesting, and till date I sit back and when I remember it's really interesting. Director Sparta, he wrote the story.
As a writer, I wanted to portray a black, strong woman. And I thought using the military side would be perfect. Then I visualized a black, strong woman in a military uniform with the rank as Major General. But I wanted it to be more perfect and more powerful. So what I did was, I did some research and I added a name that is so symbolic, and the name is Gulama. Then in the end, I visualized that beautiful, strong black woman in a military uniform that has been tagged Major General Sylvia Gulama. So adding the name to the particular character symbolizes respect, symbolizes a fearless woman. In the end, and I pictured that strong black woman in a military uniform that has been called Major General Gulama. And adding the name April 27 makes it the first female military head of state. And all these names are very symbolic into the movie.
The storyline really resonated with some of the history I know about Sierra Leone, and that really helped me prepare for the role.
When he sent the script and I read through the script, I was like, and I called Sparta, are you sure you want me to assist you directly? He said yes.
Stand by and action!
This movie, April 27, is my first movie ever, and it was a great experience, honestly. I learned a lot, I met new people, wonderful people, and one of my favorite parts is when the director keeps saying, action. That was my favorite part.
Of course, my experience was a wonderful one, because taking into consideration the people I hold with in the movie, they are people with vast experience in the movie industry. Of course, I also met few new people who are also new actors and actresses in the movie. But then my experience was something worth, because when you look at the script itself, it's something within your imagination. You think it's something possible for you to do. But with the help of the directors, the crew members, and also the producer, it was very easy, though not easy, but very easy for us to connect to the script and also put on the performance that was expected by the director and also the crew members. So my experience was good.
Well, what I enjoyed the most was the part where we had to go into the mud to look for the diamonds. And where I got hold of the diamond, I was the one who had the diamond at the end of the day. So right now, I'm a new man, I'm here the diamond.
The daughter of late Lieutenant Gulama, who was executed for murder after a court-martial. I believe so much in the producers, Lansana and Phoebe, because I've seen their work and I've worked with them a few times. I've been around them and I know how compassionate they are, how energetic they are when they want to achieve something. And I believe this is one of the many things that they want to achieve. So I know this movie is going to be excellent.
I wouldn't say picky, but I like to know what it is that I'm going into. So seeing the script and just knowing the character that Bintu is, I think I was really excited to play the role.
The military coup in Sierra Leone has come to an end and the people are to democratically elect a president among 7 candidates. The question on everyone's mind is who will be the next president of Sierra Leone? I'm Bintu Bangura with Primetime News.
And as a director, I saw this as a challenge, a huge one, especially for my team and I. Considering the budget, considering the amount of cast, we needed over 300 cast.
Let's go! Rolling! And action! Go!
I thought it would be very difficult for us as a team to acquire certain scenes that we were supposed to shoot that are the heart of this movie. Certain locations were very difficult for us to get. For instance, we have a particular scene that we shot at Lumley. It was almost impossible for us to shoot that particular scene. Imagine stopping people and certain requirements, certain skills, certain logistics that the project requires were very difficult to get, especially the guns, the truck, the locations, the military attires, the ranking. They were very difficult to get, but thank God for RSLAF. They came in and they helped us to understand and to get some of those equipment, some of those logistics.
One of the challenges I had playing Bintu, I think, was feigning intimidation, because I'm not someone who is easily intimidated.
Bring back with people left! Bring back with people left!
So this is the scene live from the military base in Kono City, where some very rebellious people are protesting.
Part of what Bintu was doing, Bintu had to interact with a couple of individuals who intimidated her, from the general herself to her boss. Being in that position was a bit difficult for me.
We had to shoot this scene at the shrine where the native doctor was, passing this ceremony. And just as we were there to shoot, when the director said I should go change and get ready for the scene, I had a terrible fall. I had a really terrible fall, and my left knee, gosh, I felt the gruesome pain. And even though I had had that fall, so I had some bruises, I had some wounds on my knee, and it was time now to go shoot. I had to kneel in the stream, and there were gravels underneath. It was so painful. I still remember the excruciating pain I felt, but then director kept saying, Osha, Biaya, Lord one, not well, Lord one. So, in as much as there was that pain, but then I had to manage through that pain that I was feeling and kneel in that water on the gravel to shoot.
My biggest challenge while shooting was the part where I had to cry, like build up the cry. I wasn't even ready. Like, build the cry, build up the cry. I was like, But I cried finally, and I cried literally all through the shoot. And the camera guy was like, Lizzie, don't take it personal. Look at just the cry. Even after everything, I was still crying. So that was my biggest challenge anyway.
And another challenge was going to Kono. Going to Kono just to depict, just to shoot the actual scenes, for it to be more realistic and original. We went to Kono and we had to go into the pits, into the soil to get the actual scene. That was very difficult. We were dirty, we were unkept, but we just wanted to get the actual scene to depict what the script requires.
I had to go sit on top of the, is this thing they did with woods and fire underneath. So on that as well, there was the fire underneath that was really, really heavy. It was something else. And there were ants all over the place. So I had to struggle with sitting there to shoot, and then there were ants. And then I couldn't, man, it was such an inconvenience, and it was challenging.
When we went to Kono, you know, it was my first movie and I was too nervous at first. I wasn't too familiar with the procedures and the action, the cut and all. It was too tough for me at first, but I had to, you know, face the reality.
It's so huge. What's acting? You know, well, you want to perform it.
A fresh boy like me, come on. I had to go to the mining site, you know, searching for diamonds and all. It was tough for me, honestly. But we get through it. Now we're here.
Though it was not my first time going to Kono, but it was my first time visiting the mining site, and also me doing mining activity, something I've never done before. So it was really challenging for me, especially when I have to go barefoot, you understand, working on the bottles and other things that can hurt you.
Because it's my first project and first ever working with WOW, I was a bit nervous and scared that, okay, probably Lizzie, you can't do this. But at the end of the day, I said no. Obviously, I can do this. If I can do, if I can basically try and do short films with the help of director Sparta, I would definitely work out this. I would definitely do it. So I did it.
Generally, on set, some of the challenges I had, you know, filming on location, meaning we had to leave Freetown and shoot in Kono. We stayed there for a couple of days, you know, just getting logistics in order.
And for me, this journey going to do the shoot was an adventure for me because I've never been to where we went to do the shoot and everything. So, but there were a little bit of, though it's not my home, so it won't be all cozy and everything, but I enjoyed shooting with WOW Studio.
When you're putting a movie together, it has to look real. That's what a movie is about. You want the people watching the movie to follow through on the emotions, on the actions, and feel it like it's real. So I'm proud of the team. The team did a lot of work in putting it together. It was stressful. It was really stressful. There were days on set when I was pretty and sexy. There were days when I was a monster. I was a bitch. But then, you know, we all did what we had to do to get things done in the right way. And then here we are today.
The people of Kono are protesting and promise to bring unrest to this nation.
Country is not stable.
What do I need to stay in power?
I always insist, you either do it right or you don't do it at all. We had about 3 or 4 days of footage shooting we did that we had to cancel. We canceled simply because we wanted to get it right. The uniform, so we did a lot of research to be able to do this movie. We worked, thanks to the RSLAF, they also supported us. We were going to the military barracks there at Cockrill. We spent some time going there to do training on, you know, basic training things on for the characters who played, you know, the soldiers, learning how to salute, learning how to walk, learning how to talk, the protocols of, you know, the rankings. They taught us. They spent time teaching us. We were going there for training, and we discovered when we started shooting that my uniform that I used as the Major General was wrong. I don't want to call it cap because it's not supposed to be that, but yes, it was wrong. So we learned that it varies by the rank. So there are different colors, there are different designs to it based on your rank.
I would consider this as greatest challenge we face as a crew. And during the shooting, we shot like 3 days consecutively, and we had to delete all those scenes again because there was a mistake about the ranking, about the type of uniform the particular character is supposed to use. Until after 3 days, we were corrected that that's not the right uniform. So what we did was to delete all those scenes and reshoot them again. It was very difficult. It was a tough decision for us. Imagine spending a lot of money, imagine wasting time, imagine calling the cast and crew back to come, let's do this again. It was very difficult, but we took 3 days to make that decision, and we made the decision, and we believe that's the best decision we made in this particular project.
It was significant for us because it was part of getting it right. If we had not gone back to scrap that, it would have been terrible. We had the option to say, oh, let's manage it and just carry on, but no. Again, you either do it right or you don't do it at all.
You know, everyone's hands on deck to really get the quality of production that we want. Sometimes we would go a day or two planning and not really getting what we want. So that was a bit challenging for not just myself, but for the team entirely, I think.
It turned out to be overwhelming, to be very honest. It stretched me. It stretched me financially, physically, mentally. It was a whole lot. It took a whole lot from me to be able to put this together.
So with all those challenges, we have one thing at the back of our minds, and that is we can do all things through Christ that strengthens us.
Tell Papa God thank you. Let we tell him thank you. Tell him thank you. Tell Papa God thank you.
We believe in God, we always pray, we always commit the shooting, we always call upon God before we start to roll camera.
In Jesus' name. Amen. Father, we thank you for today. We bless your name. We give you praise, we give you glory, honor, thanks, and adoration. Father, as we're about to start, we invite your presence, take control over everything.
So we appreciate God for the blessings. We appreciate God for the provision for us to tackle all those challenges.
Okay, again. Action, go.
So Phoebe Swill, Antonia, Peter, Bosco, Robert, I was so much impressed with their performances, and I appreciate them a lot. They were patient with me. They put in their best to make sure we accomplish what we needed to accomplish, and I appreciate them. Having them on set, especially as the very first time being in front of the camera, it was challenging for me as a director, putting them into the particular character and helping them to portray that character. And Phoebe Swill, I can say she is a pride. She's a gem in this country because Phoebe Swill played double in this particular movie, and it was very challenging for her. This is not the normal Phoebe Swill we used to see in the movie, the slummy Phoebe Swill. This is a different type of Phoebe Swill, and this particular one was a challenge even to her because she doubled the character. So at times she had to read the script for the first character and had to change again and come back and read the lines for the next character. So it was very difficult, but as brilliant as she is, I appreciate her and I love working with her. And also she did not only act, she also produced this particular movie. Imagine how exhausting that is.
When they pull ayanda, then they pull all, they work out and go.
Okay, so now, the sound guy forgets it.
No, get the other mic.
So we can get the other mic when I just pop it.
Yes,
so when the guy they can pull, line in the pool.
Simple.
This one when I the actual mic for the sound, and I don't think Cesar Antonia need for grab.
Imagine the time, imagine the effort she put into this. She is a true gem. She is a woman king, and I appreciate her a lot because playing those double roles and producing this type of movie, it is very difficult and exhausting.
As a cam will begin do the actual remote,
He can be very accommodating, but sometimes tough when it's time to work. Like when it's time to work, it's like yeah, bim bim, it's soldier government. So, but it's nice working with him.
So this was my first time working with Sparta, and I think he's a very enthusiastic individual. He loves the work that he does, and he's very energetic and passionate about it.
You go down a count for me, huh? I can't check. Put it in face, and face. Rolling. 103, last line for end beats. Sitting and standing. Come on. Sit down. Go sit down, sit down. Action it now. And action.
You see it in the way he talks to people, in the way he plans, in the way, you know, if something doesn't go the way he wants, you would see the disappointment in his face, but that doesn't mean that he's going to let it go. He would do all his best to get what he wants.
Let's go. Rolling. Action. Go.
He was like this go-getter. If he says, so like this scene, this is what I want, this is how we are going to do it, he wants it that way. Although at times I would say, no, Sparta, I think this way is better. He'll be like, okay, well, yeah, let's see how this goes. The director, even though he has vast experience in his work, but he's also ready to learn, even from me. As young as I am in the film industry, he's always ready to learn from me.
Working with director Sparta, it's not the first time I've worked with director Sparta. Actually, he's the guy who takes credit for bringing me into the film industry, because I had told myself that I was not going to be an actress. Not possible, not in Sierra Leone with all the issues and all. But when I met him, he was such a sweet person, respectful, responsible. So that's how we started. And then today he's like a brother. So it's not the first time I'm working with him. Every project that I've worked on, let me think, yeah, about 80% of the projects or more that I've worked on, director Sparta has been involved one way or the other.
At the the people of the center today at 2 p.m. Curtain start to where they come inside. Then the transition for go.
I enjoyed working with him. He's such a professional. He carries himself well, even though he's a young man age-wise, but he carries himself with respect and great responsibility and high display of leadership qualities. So yeah, I've enjoyed working with him, and I want to do that over and over and over and over again.
The crew in general are very hardworking. They make the work look easy. We know it's not easy, but you see how passionate they are about the work that they do, and you really just enjoy working with them. They're a really great team to work with.
I enjoyed the working cordiality between the crew members. Most of us, it's our first time working with each other, but you will never know. You think that we have been working for years, and that was one thing I liked about the set.
For me, I always say I have the best crew in the world. I appreciate them for their time, their effort, the patience, working with them. One of the people that I love working with and I always want to work with is the DOP, that is Rahim Ibrahim Kechko. And he's very hardworking, he's professional, he's patient, and he always listens and always adhere to correction. And I love working with him always and every day. We want him to understand that we appreciate him as well studio. We also appreciate Gadier from Liberia and all the technical people from Liberia, from the sound to the light man. Everyone, we appreciate them, to Papi, Sylvester, and also another sound man. He did a great job. When you watch the movie, you will notice there's a difference between the pictures, the sound from our previous movies.
I thereby proclaim the following orders come into effect immediately. The legislative is thereby dissolved. All mayors and local governments are dissolved.
Your desire and intention will not be the same.
Well, viewers, I want you guys to sit tight. This movie is a banger. It's educative, it gives you a lot of experiences, and it gives you lessons.
April 27 is a really, really captivating movie, I would say. It's something that you would not want to watch once, you would want to watch it over and over and over again. because it's a really interesting storyline. The story is very engaging. All the characters put in all the work to make the production what it is.
Of course, I'm an optimistic individual, so I'm hoping to see this movie as the first Sierra movie to be Netflix. That's my greatest expectation. And I've been telling people that you people need to watch out for April 27th because it's going to be the first Sierra movie to be Netflix. So I'm expecting to be a banger, a hit when you talk about movie, not only in Sierra Leone, but the sub-region and the world at large.
I'm so passionate about movie, you know, I love acting, I love being there, you know, and thanks to Phoebe for contacting my manager and letting me know that I should be in this movie April 27. It was a great opportunity for me, honestly, because it was my first movie and I feel like I did great, I guess.
Well, I cannot say much about that except to tell you to get ready because April 27 it's one of the best movie that you see on your screen. So just stay glued and watch out.
April 27 is a great movie. It's spectacular. It's a movie you would want to watch over and over and over and over and over and over again and not get tired. Expect the best from it. From cast to crew, everyone that worked on April 27 is solid. These are talented people in Africa that would impress you and would wow you. So yes, look forward to April 27 with such great expectations and enjoy it. You would love it.
I want to promise you all that April 27, it's going to be a masterpiece. It's going to be a movie that will represent Sierra Leone outside because the team and I invested a lot into this particular project, and you'll be proud of this project.
Fellow Sierra Leoneans, it's my singular honor to announce to citizens that the reign of President Sam Mogbe, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, has been ousted.
Una see this? We don't want them. Anybody will get phone. Now we will record this day in history.
I thereby proclaim the following orders come into effect immediately. The legislative is thereby dissolved. All mayors and local governments are dissolved.
Your desire and intention will not be the same the moment you sit on that seat.
I am doing this for the people.
The people of Kano are protesting and promise to bring unrest to this nation.
Country is not stable. What do I need to stay in power?
Either you kill or be killed.
It's so huge. But
No,
not
you're not.
acting, you know well, you want for vomit.
What nonsense is this? That is slavery and human rights violation.
Le pays qui est en arme.
As we come to the close of the private inquiry today, the people await the final outcome with feelings of anticipation and hope.